What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But you'll never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.
All right. Well, everybody, I'm actually inside here with Dave Neville, and actually, I'm going to have him introduce himself here in a second because it's a running joke with us because I've done this now how many years?
10.
At least 10. Yeah. I know it's at least 10. And I always mess this up, so I'll have him introduce himself here in a minute. But we're going to talk a little bit about the drivers. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk and really the nuts and bolts of why this new Paradym Smoke is such a great driver. Mm-hmm. And I've been out here at your facility now for almost a day, getting a tour of all the new clubs, and it's going to be pretty amazing. This is an amazing deal. So let's do it again. Okay? Yeah. So you want to introduce yourself?
Dave Neville from Callaway Golf. I'm Senior Director of Brand and Product Management.
Right. And I was actually going to memorize that and tell you. Sure, I didn't bring it out to you. Fun. Yeah, it's good. So we've got the new driver here.
Yes.
And so this is the big boy here. Mm-hmm. And first thing I'd like you to do is kind of just talk to him in general at home. And like we'll do like we've done the past years. Talk to him the specifics of why this driver is going to be or is such a great driver, okay? And then we'll go through that, and then we'll talk a little bit about what it fits our demographic.
Yeah.
And then kind of compare it to what we've done in the past years, like what compared to the Paradym. So let's talk about the driver itself first.
Yeah, so the driver, the big story around the driver is this all new AI smart face. Okay. So, you know, Paradym was an amazing driver. It was the #1 selling driver of 2023, #1 in wins, #1 in usage around the world. But how do we kind of take that to the next level? We have improvements to the carbon chassis, to the APW, but it's really around this smart face that is really kind of taking it to the next level, and I know we're going to dig in a little bit more to that.
So let's talk about, because I've been doing this with you for a long time. In fact, I know a lot of these guys that watch this video have seen you do this. You're famous with Grace Golf. Okay. Talk about the smart face, talk about the AI technology, talk about what you've done, because obviously we say that was such a new change. You've had this for a while now. Yeah. You mean I was out here 5 or 6 years ago, and all of a sudden they got the supercomputer, and everybody in the golf industry is so far behind Callaway now. But you've had the supercomputer for a while now.
We've been doing AI and working on it for 15 years. Yeah. So when people say, other companies say, oh, we're starting using AI and all that, we have a massive lead in what they're doing. And I think where we are with this smart face is a huge leap forward. So you were out here back in 2019 for the Epic Flash. That was the first driver ever to use artificial intelligence. Now we are light years ahead of where we were before. And it's really coming down to this all new AI smart face. And what does this do for you? We've brought in thousands of swings from golfers all around the country. You know, your golfers from fitters, from tour players, from consumers, and put that into the supercomputer. And people say, what does the AI actually do? You know, I get this question all the time. AI is a buzzword. It's in cars, it's in software, it's in everything. What is it actually doing? Why did you put AI in the name of it? Well, it is making a better and better face using machine learning and artificial intelligence. So typically the way that drivers were designed, you'd have 4, 5, 6, 7 faces, you'd put them in the driver, you test them, and you pick the best one. Now we have 50,000 virtual prototypes, something that would take us 24, 25 years to do in the past. Now we're doing that in the span of a few weeks to test this out, and that's allowing us to have tighter and longer shots downrange and make it better and better. So when you take real player data, which in the past was always done with just impacts and robots, and you combine that with machine learning and AI to make a better and better face, this face is unique, not just for the smoke, but every model it's unique for, and that means that it's designed to work with that head. And we've done over 50,000 faces for this. People say, why didn't you do 60,000? Why not 70,000? Well, the computer comes to a solution that is a best possible solution for that driver head.
Love it. So now we were talking. I've talked to some of your other people that work with you guys in the R&D and some engineers and so on, and they were talking about the two things that really stuck out was I mean, you said thousands and thousands. They were talking hundreds of thousands of swings.
Yes.
Yes. They were talking
over 250,000 swings, well over millions of data points that we're putting in.
That's
and one thing that is different than in the past is usually you would design a driver just using the impact locations using a robot. Right. Now we're bringing in real player swings. So these are all the type of, like golfers like you and me in there, right? So now we have path, now we have face angle, now we have loft at impact, not just where you're impacting on the face, but all these parameters. Right. And that's where you get the millions of data points being fed into the supercomputer to make the best possible face.
Okay, so for me or for the person out there or whatever, and I'm gonna say, okay, let's dummy this thing down. Let's just go. Let's go down, because we're talking AI technology, we're talking parameters. Let's talk about the back of this, because the first thing you notice when you see this, and you may see in the camera, I know it's kind of hard, but
not intuitive.
It's not intuitive. It's not flat. It's got, in fact, it looks really different. It's like you run across it, it feels like there's waves and thing on there. Describe what that is. Just kind of.
So this is a titanium face. It's all machined, and what you're seeing in these ripples and bumps, what it's doing is it's actually setting up what we call micro deflections. So typically, you think about this. You hit it out on the toe. You have this kind of big hook that falls out of the sky. You hit it on the heel. You hit this big cutter. These micro deflections on the face are counteracting that, right? Gotcha. And you heard in the past about talking about bulge and roll and how the face is curved and all that. This is way next level to that. Bulge and roll was a start line thing. So you hit it out of the toe, it changes the start line. This is changing launch and spin. Nobody in golf has ever been able to do that. So that doesn't mean, well, if you hit it way out on the toe, it's not going to have any draw spin. It still will, but we're counteracting that. We're making it straighter. You're going to give you straighter and longer shots.
So straighter and longer because of the technology is put in that face.
And one of the things I want to cover is just the testing. We have it on the board here, right behind it. I think it's right on the camera. We've never been able to actually legally publish some of this, but this data has been incredible. This is robot testing going up against Paradym. This is the comparison on the Max model, which is our core model, across the face. Using robot test, we tried it using TrackMan, we've tried it using Foresight, we've used our own arrow code, 7.4 yards longer across the face versus Paradym. We're not talking
versus Paradym.
Not against a 10-year-old driver, not against X-Hot, not against Razor Fit Extreme, against Paradym. We're seeing huge numbers out on the toe, out on the heel. That's where really the smart face.
This is exactly what you just described.
This is the result of the smart face. When you guys say, what is this thing actually doing for me? Here is the result. This is robot testing. We've replicated it multiple times. So obviously you got to try it for yourself. You got to get fit. These are the results we're seeing from a robot test.
This is interesting. So, and we'll laugh at this, but so you want me to hit in the 12?
Yeah. Well, we had to tell some of our sales reps, they're a little slow. They're like, what, should I hit it out on the toe? No, it's still the hottest in the center of the face. This is saying it would be 12 yards longer than the Paradym in that location. In that location. And we've run this test multiple times, and sometimes this might be 9, this might be 7, this might be 5, but we're winning in 21 different spots across the face.
So you literally are testing. This is how specific. This is crazy.
We're mapping
all the different mapping the face of the driver, because there's the driver.
You're
mapping this face and you're showing the different distances, which is crazy. Because that's a club. That's a club longer. That's a club longer.
Oh yeah.
This is almost a club longer off the sweet spot. And Paradym was amazing. Paradym won everything.
Yes.
I mean, it was #1, no doubt about it. And this is longer than Paradym.
It was the #1 selling driver in the U.S. It was the #1 selling driver in Canada. #1 around the world. It was #1 on tour. It had the most wins.
Not even close.
And this thing is taking it to the next level. So we are pumped. We're excited.
Because what's interesting is if you took Paradym and compared it to even like the Rogue ST or the older club drivers behind that, they were longer than those. So you put this comparison against older clubs. I mean, you're talking double digits.
It's going to blow it out of the water. We have to talk about it. If you're coming in with a 5, 6, 7-year-old driver, this thing's gonna absolutely blow it out of the water. But if you're coming in with Paradym, it's still gonna be longer.
So the average golfer, I'm looking at the guy and he goes, "You're telling me this is faster." I'm looking, this is longer, and I'm like, it's a club longer. I mean, it's almost a club longer off the sweet spot.
And this is our robot test. Like we said, we've run it with Foresight, with GC Quad, industry standard. We ran it with TrackMan, industry standard. We ran it with our own arrow code. Not easy to get this through legal to allow us to even publish or print this.
There it is. It's on camera.
Yeah, it's on camera.
It's on camera.
Yeah, we feel good about it.
So this is going to be, well, I already see this is going to be the PGA show. This is going to be, I mean, this is going to
be massive.
This is going to be the hot button right here, because that's the first time I've seen it. I mean, it's truly, I'm looking at this for the first time. He knew that though. He sets me up on stuff like this because it gets me excited about this. Because all it does for me is thinks, I'm going to hit this driver. I'm going to hit a half club to club long. Club less going into greens.
No matter where you hit it.
No matter where I hit it. Where I hit it. So okay. So now let's talk about just real quickly with the guys there is talk about some of the different models.
Yep.
Because I know there's a few more, which is kind of interesting because a lot of club companies and even you in the past may put 2 models out, 3 models out. You've done more this year.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, we've got 4 models. We can walk through it. We've got an all new model, which I think would be great kind of for your clientele, your customers. But our core model is the Max, right? And I'm holding that here. This is going to fit a lot of golfers, kind of mid handicaps, you know, single digit handicaps, mid double digit handicaps. It's the most forgiving of the whole lineup. It's also very adjustable, so you can really correct to the shot shape. Still got the carbon chassis, lightweight, smart face that we were just talking about. So this is going to fit.
So this is the majority.
This is majority.
This is majority.
You know, probably 50% of golfers are going to be.
And honestly, my clientele, we're talking 60, 70%. If not, that's going to be high. I agree with that.
But we have an all new model, which we're excited about. And just feel this. Feel how lightweight this is. This is the Max Fast
that's crazy.
model, right? So this is 30 grams lighter than the Max. It's a 270 gram total built weight. We have a really lightweight grip shaft, but also you have the bonded hosel, so it's very lightweight. We have 2 lofts. We have 10, 5, and 12. So if this is for the player, a little bit slower swing speed. You know, if you're swinging your driver at 70 miles an hour or so, you want to look at the Max Fast because this thing is going to launch high. It's going to be easy to launch, easy to swing, very, very lightweight.
Ladies in this thing.
Yeah, ladies, seniors. You know, we have the lightweight offerings in the.
For 2 seconds here, and I know I'm kind of just jumping around a little bit, but I get this question a lot. Okay. Explain to them real quick at home so that because they trust you. This has the adjustability. So the Max has the adjustability. This one does not. And it's pulled out of here for a reason. Okay, can you explain to them why it's pulled out of there?
So typically we like to have the adjustability in there for 2 reasons. Adjustability, but also fitting makes it easier to change out the shafts. But when you have a really lightweight, a club that is designed to be as light as possible, we want to take as much weight out of this head. And this adjustable sleeve weighs about 8 to 9 grams there, right? You might say 8 to 9 grams, that's not that much. That's huge for our designers, right? If you're able to take that out and you notice it doesn't have the sliding weight, well, the sliding weight track has weight. This weight itself has weight, right? So this is where you start to see, where do you get the 30 grams out of there? Well, you're pulling it out of all the things to make this thing as lightweight and easy to swing as possible. There are a lot of golfers who like to use the adjustability. There are a lot of golfers who don't. They buy it. It's as is. I'm good. I'm using that. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to have it on the wrong setting. I'm going to use it, and that's what we have.
We talked about that last year, though. We brought this up, and I had a lot of comments about that. You made this point last year, and I actually brought it up after you did. You said, how about this? You said you have the adjustability driver, because the majority fit into this. And the guy's working on the swing, but he's about to go play around a golf at Pebble Beach. He's about to go play around a golf, you know, an important round of golf to him, and he's slicing the ball. So he can put this thing and set it and say, okay, I can save myself.
I'll work on it later.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm going to save it right now, and then come back and put it back in the middle. Tell how much of a difference in adjustability. So if I went from the heel to the toe or did the slider from one side, how much adjustability difference
Total
is there?
adjustability here is going to be almost 20 yards, which is absolutely massive, right?
20, so right versus left.
Yeah. So if you go into the full fade setting versus the full draw setting, and when I say full draw setting, that would mean that this sliding weight is all the way in the heel. You'd be in the draw setting, which makes it a little bit more upright. That's going to be 20 yards from the full fade setting. So you're talking about, for a golfer, that's, you know, out of the woods and into the rough, or out of the rough and into the fairway, or from the fairway and now you're hitting a draw.
So you're talking 20 yards.
20 yards of right to left shot shape dispersion with the adjustability.
Or left to right, or the opposite.
The opposite. A lot of people want to hit a fade, you know, you can do that as
20 yards is well over half a fairway, most fairways. So that's interesting. So
fairways, you know, 50-yard fairways, a big fairway, right? Some are smaller, so you're covering at least half the fairway.
Almost half the fairway. I love that, because that's a big deal, because in the past you've had some that have been adjustable, some that haven't been, but I've always pushed towards adjustability because of that very reason. Okay, so we talked about those 2 lines. What else do we have in the lines?
Yeah, so one of the things we want to talk about just on the design here is this carbon chassis. Super lightweight, 15 grams, 15% lighter, saves us 6 grams. And you were talking about the adjustability. Well, where do you get the weight to allow you to do the adjustability? Well, you make this piece, I mean, feel how light this is.
Yeah, it's not even there.
It's not even there.
It's crazy. I mean, I wish they could at home could feel this, because, I mean, it's like when I hold the tungsten in the iron, so I hold this. It's undescribable how light that is.
How light that is.
I mean, it's crazy how light this thing is. I mean, it's like a feather.
Our engineers joke, like, if we could make the middle of the driver weigh nothing or
like
be empty,
air.
we would do it. This is the next best thing.
This is close.
Yeah, it's still got to be durable. It's still got to be able to hit the ball, but you want the weight either in the face with the AI Smart Face or in the back with the adjustability or helping with the MOI. So this being 15% lighter than the Paradym carbon chassis, that's absolutely massive.
That's crazy. I love that. So that's the chassis and all this. Now, the other two lines you have, so you have the
Max and Max Fast.
Okay,
yep.
then
then we have a dedicated draw model, you know. So we have the Max D model, so dedicated draw. This is going to be about 10 yards more draw than where we were with the Paradym X this year.
So more really, draw.
Yeah, more draw. So dedicated draw model.
Okay.
And I know you do have some better players, higher swing speed. This is for you. Tim, right here is the Triple Diamond. I mean, this is the big dog. It's the lowest spinning model of all of them. You have the front back adjustability here, a little bit smaller shape, so it's 450 cc. But you got to have some swing speed. You know, we're talking about guys who are probably 105 miles an hour or more. The tour players are going to have this. John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Sam Burns. This will be in play with the best players in the world. But we have that model available as well.
So Lofts in this, so the Triple Diamond is
we have 8 degrees, so really low, which you can set all the way down to 7. We have a 9 when we have a 10.5.
Right, so we don't go above 10, because these are guys who can crank it.
Yeah,
these guys
can crank it.
Right.
You got to have some speed. You know, if you're slower swing speed, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the Triple Diamond like that. I would put them more into the Max or the Max Fast.
And now for the Max with Lofts, you have those?
Yeah, so we have a 9, a 10.5, and a 12. So we can go, and you know the setting, we have +2 and -1 here. So you can go up 2, you can go to 1. You can be, you know, in a 13.5 type of setting, or you can take it all the way down to an 8 degree.
It's why there's no doubt the Max 10.5 when this one, but you know the 10.5 in the past was always the most popular one I sold, because you can go up to 10, 12.5, or you can go down to 9.
So that's going to be the most versatile, probably our best selling.
And then the other one, the Fast.
Yeah, the Max Fast. So this is really more loft. So we have 10, 5, and 12, right? Okay. And there's a lot of loft kind of launch built into this, because when you take something that's 30 grams lighter and you give it 12 degrees of loft, it's going to launch straight in the air.
It's acting like it's 14. It's acting like a lot of loft.
Yeah, and there's a lot of golfers who need that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? And you have a lot in your clientele. Give me it as light as possible. Give me something that's easy to launch, and that's where the Max Fast.
Because it comes down to, there used to be a lot of your line. You guys also had a high trajectory club, like you used to carry a HT or a high trajectory club. Now you can put the 12 in there, put a light one in there, and it is the HT. It's going to launch.
And you know, it's worth mentioning, in the past we've had the Star family, and we brought it out in the fall. It's been a little bit more expensive, but then we would come out with an all new line in the spring, and it wouldn't get as much attention. So we took this Max Fast, this lightweight, we said we're going to put it in the line. We're going to make it a 4th model. It's going to be available the whole year long. It's part of the line. You know, it's best chance for it to succeed. It'll be part of the fittings. You know, and that was something we didn't have with the Star.
And that was really exciting for us. That's why I brought up. Normally we have 3 clubs, 2 or 3 to come from. This one we actually had 4 because of that. And exactly right. In fact, the Star model line for us was extremely popular. It comes out in the fall. It's super lightweight.
And worth mentioning that this is in the same price point as the rest of them. You know, it's in the past with the Star, we had to really take the price
more,
up.
Whatever it was,
and so this is part of it's in the same price point. It's part of the fitting clubs. You know, we have a lot of different options in it. And what I like about this line is that they're all really distinctive. So the Triple Diamond, I mean, this is low spin. This is the bomber. The Max is the core up the gut with the most adjustable. We've got a draw model. It's dedicated draw, and we've got a lightweight, easy to swing. So you're hitting all of the categories.
Love it. Okay, so now I've already talked to you about this, but I want everybody at home to hear this. The last couple of years, you talked shafting. And I'll be honest with you, they took your advice more than mine, which you should. Which you definitely should. Yeah, you should. This is the guy who does it 24/7, 365.
Not a hobby.
It's not a hobby for him, exactly. Talk a little bit about shafting in these clubs, like a couple like your recommendations, because this was great for us last year, and it really hit home for a lot of people last year. So we got this Max driver. My typical, our typical student. I mean, we've dealt this for years with you. But our typical students, got 80 mile an hour swing speed, 90 mile an hour swing speed, maybe in this, the regular light flex shaft. Okay. So if you're talking that kind of student, that's a regular flex, light flex shaft, they're going to the Max type head. So we're not in the light one right now. We're in the Max. What type of shafting are you guys looking at this year? What's the hot thing?
Yeah, so the core up the gut shafts is going to be the Mitsubishi Tensei AV series. And the Tensei, I mean, this is one of the best known, highest quality shafts in the world, made by Mitsubishi. They've had Tensei out there a number of years. This is their AV series. This is kind of a mid-launch, mid-spin. We've got it in the 50-gram class, which is going to be great for a lot of your students, right?
So when it says 55 on there, how much is that? 55
grams. It all depends on the cut length, but call it 55 grams in a reg flex. We'll have it in a stiff flex. We'll have it in a light flex. We also have this in a 60. You know, if they want something that's a little bit heavier.
I like to keep in the low 50s and mid 50s.
Low
for my
50s.
guys.
You know, we always say that you want to have it as light as possible, but still be able to control it.
Exactly.
Right. And so when I look at a little bit lighter option, we have the Cypher, and that's going to be in the 40-gram class. That's available in any of the models, but for the draw model, that's kind of the stock
Cypher
shaft.
is so popular.
Yeah, Cypher's been great for us. It's a Project X shaft, super high quality. It'll weigh about 43 to 45 grams, so that's going to be a little bit lighter. We do have the heavier one, the Denali, for players who need that. But then in the Max Fast, this is a Tensei Blue and Silver. This is a 40-gram super lightweight shaft.
There you go.
We work with Mitsubishi directly to design the shaft. We have a women's offering as well, the LDO, which is a lightweight. So this Tensei would be more of the senior type of shaft, and then the LDO and the women's.
What's the lightest you can go in that?
You're at 40 grams.
40 grams.
40 grams. I mean, and that is really light for really light for a driver shaft.
If you would have said that 5 years ago, you would have laughed.
You couldn't do it. They would break. They would break, right? But the quality of these have gotten so much better. The materials that they're using, they call it AV, the aluminum vapor that is in there, making it very durable. So you can go really lightweight and it's still durable.
Love it. I love it because, you know, the thing about the shafting in this is that I think, talk a little bit about, and we did this in the last couple of years, but I love you to refresh this because 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe even less than that, you were 60 grams, 70 grams in the shaft. And even in the regular flex shafts, that was very common. Now all of a sudden, you put a 60 gram in there, it's heavy. You know, the regular flex shaft is like a heavy end. That's totally changed. That lightweight lets them do what? It lets them swing in it faster. And then talk about that for a minute. Just
well, what has happened is the shafts have become much higher quality, much more durable, and you actually saw it with the tour players starting it. So you used to see tour players in 70 grams, sometimes 80 gram shafts. Now, majority of tour players are in the 60 gram class. 100%. Now it might be an X Flex, so it's a very, very stiff.
Oh yeah, but it's light.
But it's light.
And I want everybody to hear that because
it's very durable. They can still control it, but it's lightweight. And now in the market, it used to be 60 and 70, right? Now we're moving more to 50 and 60, and now 40 is becoming even more popular. Before 40 was like a durability thing, or like it was only a women's or seniors offering.
Well, I'm a walking testament to that because when I was playing on the mini tours and playing out there, playing for a living, I actually found I don't even know the name, it was a blue shaft, but I was hitting a 70 to 80 gram shaft. And I went to a 50, and it was a 55 gram shaft. And I had one of the tour reps put in their model and said, you got to try this. And I went and crushed it with it. The problem was it broke on me. It continually broke on me. But I love the shaft. And since then, and that was 20 some years ago, I could never go above that. Everything felt heavy to me. I love that lighter weight and where I could feel I could really swing it. Now you're seeing it in the tour players. I mean, now the big boys are even catching up on that.
The quality of shafts is just so much higher. The materials that they're using, the types of carbon, like we're talking about infusing steel or infusing aluminum vapor into it, they don't break, which allows you to be light and also be stiff. So in the past, you couldn't get a 60 gram TX for a tour player. Now that's the standard, 100%. 60 gram TX.
And remember, they're backing the shafts. You guys guarantee the shafts. So you sit there and you swing and snaps in half. Well, here's what's interesting. You guys always call for the club because you want to see why it broke. Okay, and so breaks and downswing, you want some breaks. Because they're going back to this company and saying, hey, your shaft is broke, what's going on? So this company's backing it as you are. So the last thing they want to do is things start breaking. Because you guys may be a onesie out there. They're selling hundreds of thousands of putting these in drivers. They've got to be very durable.
I mean, Mitsubishi is one of the largest companies in the world, right? They're an integrated chemical company. They're doing all the pre-preg, all the materials for the shafts. These are some of the highest quality shafts in the world. Project X, owned by True Temper. Obviously, they're the biggest shaft company in the world, most successful shaft company. Incredible partners for us. The durability is outstanding on these, and they're getting better every year, and it's part of the whole package of the shaft.
I love it. Well, I said that because last year we did this tape, and you just started throwing some shafts in there, and all of a sudden you became the world expert. And I was like, okay, you guys just listen to David. I'm the Dave on this, okay? Now, so let's end it here because this is phenomenal. I mean, you know how it is. I mean, I love coming out here and seeing you every year. This is so much fun. This is like my warm up for the next year. It's always like Christmas for us because we get to see the new stuff. Exactly. So just the last thing on here, I'm going to have hundreds. No, I'll have thousands. I take that back. I'll have thousands of individuals who either have the Paradym in their hand or have the Rogue ST Max in their hand. Now, if they have older than that, it's a moot point. They already know they need to upgrade it. And they're going to come to me and they're going to ask me this question: should I upgrade my driver? Should I go to this new Paradym Smoke? Okay. And I'll always sit there and say, don't believe me, believe the experts, okay? Because you're not here just to sell the driver. You have to prove the driver, okay? So just to end this thing right here, because you're talking to them at home now, okay? Tell them why they should be trading in their Paradym or their Rogue ST Max and going to the Paradym Smoke, okay? Just the last thing with that. I'm gonna look at this.
Well, I was gonna say, here's where we started. I mean, there's 3 things to look at. So this is robot testing. This has been incredible. 21 to 21 different spots, using TrackMan, using Foresight, using our aero code. This is what we're seeing. It's incredible. We've also done player testing, and we're seeing not just longer, but tighter downrange dispersion. So that's
more
huge.
accurate.
So robot testing, player testing, and then tour testing. And we've tested this with the best players, literally the best players in the world. We had the most wins with Paradym. We're testing that. This driver is beating the most successful, the most played on tour as well, right? So you look at robot testing, you look at player testing, you look at tour testing, it's all there. Dispersion is there. You can see it's longer as well. I'd say give it a shot, try it out.
So all your tour players, all the guys that are out there, the big boys, you named Xander, you named Sam Burns, you named John Rahman. Everyone will have this in their hand, correct?
Yes, they will have it. They'll have it in the hand. They're already testing it. We've got people who are ready to go. It's December right now. They're not on the conforming list yet, so they're not allowed to play it. But we'll come January, they'll be up and running, and these will be in the bags of the best players.
Because for us, this makes the game fun, makes it more fun, it makes it much easier. It makes it, for them, that's millions of dollars.
That's the difference.
That's millions of dollars.
winning a major, winning an event, keeping your card, all of those things.
So, well, like normal, I appreciate your time.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thanks.